right. So today, just like last time, we're looking for the missing angle. So we still need to know the trig functions and the relation to the sides of the triangle. So what I like to do, this helps me a lot. If I know I'm going to use these trig functions, I'm going to write SOHCAHTOA at the top. And then if I have this at the top of my paper, then that tells me that I know that sine of the angle is equal to the opposite side over the hypotenuse. Cosine of the angle is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. Tangent of the angle equals the opposite side over the adjacent side. So if I have that written on my paper, that really helps me to remember what I'm doing. All right, so now I'm gonna start on number 1. So I've got this angle. I'm just gonna call it X. You can call it whatever variable you want. And then I'm gonna label the sides based on this angle that I have, that I'm trying to find. So I have the opposite side, so opposite, and I have the adjacent side. So then I need to go up here and decide which trig function I need to use. I have opposite and adjacent, so I'm going to use tangent. I'm going to use the opposite over the adjacent. So I'm going to write that down. Tangent of this angle equals the opposite side, which is 23, over the adjacent side, which is 30. Then I need to solve for x. Can somebody remind us what we did last time? How do we get rid of tangent? So not quite multiply. We got to use a function. Do you remember the function? We got to do opposite of tangent. Does that sound familiar? So the opposite of tangent is this tangent inverse, and that gets rid of tangent. So if we do that on one side, just like in all algebra, we have to do that on the other side. So tangent inverse of tangent cancels tangent. I always imagine that it's killing it, but that's probably not appropriate for math. So tangent inverse cancels tangent. So then we just have x over here. And then we have tangent inverse of this fraction. So we just type that in our calculator. I just have a different calculator up here, so I'm just going to use that, but we can use whatever calculator. So we need tangent inverse of this fraction. So this calculator also has tangent inverse. I have to push the second button, just like on the other calculator. So I got to do second tangent, then 23 divided by 30, end parenthesis, and that gives me a number. And we are going to, just like it says here, we're going to round to the nearest degree. So we look at the decimal. 4 is less than 5, so we're going to round down to 37. Oops, I clicked on log. So the angle is 37. Okay, questions on the first problem? Does this sound familiar from last time? Okay, let's do at least one more. Do you guys care which one we do?
Are they all the exact same?
They're
getting harder or easier?
No. They're not all tangent. Should we do one that's not tangent?
Sure.
Okay. Do you see any that you prefer to do? Or we can just do the next. We'll do number 3 maybe. Okay, let's jump down to number 3. 3 is not tangent. So we are using this angle, so make sure you use the correct angle to label your sides. So we're using this one down here. What sides do we have labeled? Perfect. So we have opposite, so 38 is opposite, 40 is the hypotenuse. Perfect. And based on opposite and hypotenuse sides, what trig function do we need to use? Perfect. Good. So sine of the angle equals opposite, which is 38, over hypotenuse, which is 40. We need to get rid of sine, so we're going to do inverse sine. Opposite of sine. Sine inverse. So sine inverse cancels with sine. So we have x equals sine inverse of 38 over 40. So second sine, that gives us that little minus sign, that's inverse sine. And then we plug in 38 divided by 40, parentheses. And then we look at the first decimal, it's bigger than 5. So that tells us we're going to round up to the degree 72. Okay, you guys feel pretty comfortable with this one? Do you have any questions? Do you want to do one more?
This is sort of a back over.
Oh, yep. Okay, I think you guys can do the rest of these. We have about 55 minutes left. So you should be able to get this done. If you are done, look at your grades on Canvas and see if there's anything you need to do for this class. I have all the assignments up here. We can get you an extra copy if you need. And then I can take late work until the 26th of May. Okay, so make sure your grades are getting to where you want them.